Alrighty, friends. By popular request, the time has come. The Lost Omens World Guide is out. The Inner Sea region of 5 Minute Tour is getting an update. My cat just tried to attack my hand. Hey, buddy. He says, hi, guys. For those of you who want more Tommy Uncut, it will be coming because, well, probably this series will be a little shorter than the Inner Sea region of 5 Minute Tour. Probably do a timeline at the end. Today, for the first episode of the Inner Sea 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, I'm keeping that name. I'm sorry. Sorry about it. It's real good. We're covering one of the regions I'm the most excited about. That is New Thassilon. The purpose of this series will be to talk about the new regions that are springing up and any regions that have seen major changes. Some of them are kind of exactly the same as they used to be. Those we will touch on less. But when people come out of the past to live in the present, yeah, we're going to talk about that one. So, if you're liking what you're seeing, like, subscribe, ding the bell. If you have any requests for this series or any other series, in the comments they go. Patronage makes them go to the top of the line. Yes, I know we have some patron requests for Tommy Uncut. We'll get there. This will probably take all of like 5 or 6 weeks, like I said. Maybe a little longer. I don't want to get stuck to that number, but we'll get back to them when we get done with this. In any case, this episode of the Inner Sea 2 Electric Boogaloo, I'm going to love saying that, was brought to you in part by Buffalo. Thanks for your support, man. Now, let's hit it. Okay, so the city out of time, the people from the past, is a trope we see in a lot of things in fantasy. The Inner Sea region, by and large, is a really big ol' kitchen sink of history and fantasy tropes thrown together. And if you'd like to get caught up on what we were looking at before, follow this card right up here to an old series, the Inner Sea region, a 5 Minute Tour. This time around, these guys come straight out of Paizo's lore. The thing about the Inner Sea region in 2nd edition is, well, we've taken the events of the adventure paths and we've rolled them forward into the lore. I'm going to do my very best to not spoil any of the really, really wonderful adventure paths that have come out. However, we're running straight into spoilers for Rise of the Runelords, Shattered Star, and Return of the Runelords here. Again, gonna try to be vague, but you have been warned. In the lore of Pathfinder, a long, long time ago, there existed a nation known as Thassilon. Thassilon was ruled by 7 Runelords. They went into stasis and they started awakening around the time of, well, Pathfinder 1st Edition first coming out. That started with the Runelord Karzog. He and his armies were defeated by noble heroes. Of course, that's going to leave people talking about these people waking up from a distant past. Over the years, heroes sought to rebuild a powerful artifact known as a Sihedron, a 7-pointed star. However, the heroes that had stopped the Runelords in the past slowly began to vanish, and were able to defeat the Runelord Alasnist, but they did it with the most unlikely of help, that is to say, from the help of another Runelord, the Runelord Sorshen. Once upon a time, Sorshen ruled a place called Eurythnia, I think I'm saying that right anyway, along the southern coast of Varizia. She was one of the most powerful. Alongside Belimarius, when they reawoke and survived, they went on to claim a swath of thinly inhabited land along the northern edge of Varizia, consisting primarily of the Kodar Mountains, which became New Thassilon. New Thassilon itself is divided into 2 smaller kingdoms. Sorshen rules, again, Eurythnia, the larger of the 2. Her rule, however, is light, and her involvement in the life of the subjects pretty subtle. Alongside her, working as an advisor and benefactor, is her once demonic patron. Yeah, get this. As of 2nd edition, Nauticula is both no longer a demon lord, no longer chaotic evil, and risen to help rule in New Thassilon. What? Nauticula's on the WA list. We'll talk about that later. In any case, Sorshen and Nauticula seek to fashion Eurythnia, and in time, New Thassilon at large, into a place where those with no other land to call home can seek shelter, asylum for exiled politicians, subversive artists, the misfits of society. Hey, me. Neat. I can get behind that. On the other side of that, Belimarius continues to be poisoned by envy, despite mercy and understanding from heroes who could have killed her. She seems incapable of looking upon her neighbors' holdings without jealousy, despite the fact that her own power remains formidable. Her first major act as ruler was a short but pivotal war with none other than King Opir Eightfingers, that one Lenorm king who may or may not have killed the Lenorm. His realm lay just to the north of her own. He started raiding. He hasn't been seen since. Eight Fingers was pretty unpopular, and his defeat ironically cast her in a more favorable light. But the gratitude of those who had grown tired of Opir's posturing is likely to be short-lived. Sorshan knows Belimarius is unstable, and might very well be the greatest threat to her hopes of New Thassilon finding a more peaceful position in the meta region known as the Saga Lands. And does that mean we'll see a War of the Rune Lords AP? Place? Wizards versus wizards, lots of explosions, let's do it! Oh, speaking of Rune Lords, one significant development amongst the citizens of New Thassilon is the evolution of that title itself. Back in the day, Rune Lord was synonymous with governor or ruler in just the same way as it had indicated mastery over arcane magic. Nowadays, many have begun to explore and examine what it meant to be a Rune Lord, and in time, the notion of Rune Lord might just become a widespread term for someone who's good with magic, which I'm definitely here for. I'm actually GMing for a man out of time, old Charles Xavier here, our Thassilonian wizard in Age of Ashes. So one thing I think I find really interesting about New Thassilon at large is that by bringing New Thassilon back, we've taken the Aslanti, because these people would be Aslanti, Karzog was in any case, a +2 to all the ability scores. Now it's just a human, which is probably better for balance's sake. But in any case, being from New Thassilon can mean a lot of things. Could mean you are an individual out of time seeking to find place. Could be you're a refugee seeking to find a new place, or anywhere in between. It could mean you're a chaotic good worshiper of Nauticula, and also, what even is that? That's what? I'm here, sure, why not? I will take it. I'm presently in Rise of the Rune Lords. We're getting ready to start Book 5 over on another channel pretty soon. But seeing that there's going to be a new region come up kind of makes me want to also be a player in Return of the Rune Lords at some point, not even gonna lie. In any case, now that we have this new founded region, I hold my breath to see what exactly will come of it, because it sounds really exciting to me. 10 out of 10 would fight/GM for things from a billion years ago, but what do you guys think? Have we played Return of the Rune Lords? Have we adventured in New Thassilon? Do we know anyone playing Thassilonians? Put it in the comments. Let's keep that conversation going, y'all. Not sure what we're doing for the next episode of the Inner C2 Electric Boogaloo. It's probably on you guys, my friends. Throw it in the comments. We'll see you next Friday.